know the bad part about being an outdoor educator, or in this case, a kayaking instructor specifically, is that you are regularly inundated by people in whatever your chosen outdoor skill is, in this case kayaking, who just don't know what they're doing and don't even know that they should take a lesson. So yeah, today we're going to try and solve the spray skirt problem. Let's go. Okay, I was supposed to be in Maine. I am clearly not in Maine. We decided to postpone that trip due to the cost of fuel for the truck. It would have cost us, I think we did the math at around $1,000 round trip, probably ending up being more like $1,500 when all was said and done. So we decided to go to Assateague Island. We are also not in Assateague Island. We couldn't find any place to camp, any place to park the van. There was no boondocking. There was no campsites available. So we're back in the Outer Banks. And I say that like it's a bad thing. This is my favorite place to go in the Southeast. The only difference is that we are now here on season. It is the end of June. Normally we're here off season. We're here in April or October, and it's really quiet. When I come paddling here in October, the only people on the water are me, the only kayaker, kiteboarders, and windsurfers, and it's super fun. But being here in June, I'm seeing lots of people on stand-up paddleboards and lots of people in rented kayaks that just have no idea what they're doing. Drives me crazy. But there's nothing you can do about it, so it is what it is. But as I said, today we are going to try and solve the spray skirt problem. The spray skirt problem reared its head while I was prepping for Alaska. I wanted to practice rolls, and I saw that my spray skirt, this spray skirt, which is really a whitewater skirt, would not stay on the boat when I rolled. And I tried a couple things and couldn't make it work, and went to Alaska and brought my skirt but didn't end up using it. And then finally reached out to Delta when I came back. And I noticed right away when I got this boat that the lip of the cockpit combing was not as deep as the lip on my previous boat. The cockpit combing is not as aggressive as on my last boat. It was a little bit harder to get the my spray skirt, which is a whitewater spray skirt, is a very aggressive, tight skirt. It was a little bit harder to lock it in. It didn't want to stay in place. So that's first impressions. And my previous Delta of the same model, just older. And so I assumed that that was the problem, but in talking to Delta, they say they have actually heard people make this complaint. They have said that it is not the depth of the combing, but it is the slipperiness of the combing. And so they suggested I use their spray skirt, which is not that surprising since they're selling their spray skirts. But I bought a spray skirt and a cockpit cover, and we're going to see how those do. But first, we're going to try and roll with this spray skirt on, which is my traditional skirt. And so, a little bit about the skirt that I am using. I am not using a touring spray skirt. I am using a whitewater spray skirt because when I started to learn to roll, which was not even in this boat, I was thinking about it the other day. It was sometime between 2006 and 2009 when I learned how to roll, and I found that I could not get a spray skirt to stay, a touring skirt to stay on. They popped off. And if your skirt doesn't stay on, you can't really effectively roll. So a buddy of mine, really good guy, said, try this spray skirt. It was an immersion research skirt of his. He was a whitewater paddler. At first I said, it won't go on. It's the wrong size. He's like, it'll go on. It's just tighter than you're used to. And that was in fact the case. I tried really hard. I got it on and it was bomber. It would not come off unless I pulled it off, which was what I was looking for. I had used a number of just touring skirts that I liked, but that would just not stay on. So I went to that skirt, loved it. It finally died. I replaced it with a newer immersion research, which is where we are today. It worked beautifully on my last boat. It does not work on this boat. Well, we're going to double check that it does not work on this boat. We're going to know shortly. And so that's why I'm in this skirt. I will be sad if I can't use this skirt. They gave me Delta gave me one other fix that I could try. Because it's a slipperiness issue, they suggested applying some Aqua Seal, which is a glue that is used to repair wetsuits, really. We use it to fix a lot of things. A lot of people use it to repair wetsuits. They recommended putting a little bit of it on the underside of the coaming just to make it a little bit stiffer. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to try that with this skirt. I think I'm going to do a section up here and a section and back here, and we'll see how that does. Okay, so, but first we're going to do a roll with this skirt on and see how that goes. Water is very warm, which is super nice. Just get it a little bit deeper. A lot warmer than the last time I rolled. Well, successful roll, unsuccessful spray skirt. Not surprising. Okay, we're going to back up. We're going to get to where we can stand, get the water out of the boat, and change skirts. Looking at this skirt, I don't even really believe that it's going to stay on the boat, let alone stay on the boat, let alone stay on the boat when I'm rolling. Okay, so a trick for this, if you're having the same problem I have, or I'm having, which is when you go to put the front of the skirt on, the back of the skirt won't stay in place, is to lean forward, which tensions the back of the skirt, which I don't think I'm actually doing right now. Okay, that skirt is on. Skirt popped. It wasn't a great roll either. I tried to go slow, but I felt the skirt pop relatively quickly. So frustrated. We're going to try it one more time. Much better roll. But my boat's filled with water. So frustrated. So frustrated. I'm not a huge fan of day hatches either, Delta. So frustrated. a real problem. I was very confident that the problem was my skirt. A little bit of this cockpit combing thrown in. You know, maybe it wasn't quite as grippy as the old one, but I was fairly confident that the bulk of the problem was my skirt, and it is not my skirt. So frustrating. And really problematic, a real issue. So, I'm going to try the Aqua Seal fix and see if that does it, but I am not a happy camper. I'm going to take 15 minutes to just paddle and loosen up and go shower salt off. I have to say, at least rolling in probably 85-degree water is a lot nicer than rolling in Alaska. The likelihood of me running into an orca here is a lot slimmer. So, yeah. Alright, that's it for today. Apparently this is going to be a series now in dealing with my skirt issues, but until then, I'll see you outside. This does bring up one more question, though, which is, do I trust the Delta cockpit cover? I think that the next time my cockpit cover blows off, which is a Seals, I'm going to replace it in the same conditions with the Delta cover and see if it stays on. I don't think it's going to. I think it's the Kayak.